session is review of the Edward Bine Memorial Justice Assistant Grant, better known as JAG, for the program year of 2017. We'll call on Miss Linda Blanchard.
Hello, like she said. I am Linda Blanchard with Juvenile Court. I am the CHINS coordinator. The CHINS coordinator is the Children in Need of Service coordinator. And I work with the low level, the truancies, the unrulies, that kind of thing. We have a panel called our CHINS panel where we bring the families in, and instead of them going into the court, into the judge, and the trauma of going in with the judge, they come to our panel, and we have a group of people. We have the school systems, the social workers from the school systems, mental health providers, DFACs, I think of else is there, juvenile court, obviously, and we bring the families in and we talk to them and say, okay, what's going on? What can we do to help? And it's more of a, it's not a punishment. The child has done something that they shouldn't do according to the law, but we bring them in and try to alleviate the whole stress of the situation and see what we can do to help them instead of bringing them into court. So we need funds to do that, and one of the ways we get funds to do that is grants, and the Edward Byrne Memorial Grant is a grant that we've had for years. And we have to make a public announcement that we're applying for this grant every year. Actually, I have applied for this grant already. It was something that we had put in the web page, the website, and for years they had been okay with us doing that, making the public announcement, doing it on the website. Well, we had a change in personnel over at JAG, and they said that I have to come here and make sure that it's a public announcement to everybody, and everybody knows that we applied for this grant. The grant this year, right present, is supplementing some of my benefits right now. Next year, I'll probably come back for another one of these, but next year we're going to do some programs, some anger management programs, and do some things like that to put into this grant. But it's a continual grant that we get every year. It depends on the funding from JAG. If it's over $10,000, we get it. The county gets it. If it's less than $10,000, it goes to the state, and then they have a state solicitation. But it was $10,636 this year, so we were $636 over, so it worked out really well. And like I said, every year they do an allocation, so it's different every year. And whatever that amount is, that's what I apply for. So, like I said, $10,636 this year. So, like I said, I'm just here to make a public announcement that we have applied for this grant.
Fantastic. Any questions? Linda, thank you very much.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next item on the work session, item number 2, is the review and discussion of items for the June 6, 2017 Board of Commissioners meeting. That agenda will start with item number 8, special recognition. We're going to call on Mr. Lee Powers. You'll be ready Tuesday night to do a special recognition to graduate
I will.
2017. All right. Next, we'll move into item number 9, financial session. Item 9.1 is discussion of the energy excise tax, and item 9.2. One will be a discussion, one will be actually laying it out. We'll call on Lehman Stevens to explain that today, and with the assistance of Stacy Blackman if needed. Yeah, if you just want to tell, y'all know about it, do you want to hear? Yeah, okay. Then I think we're fine today. You're good. If you got any questions, Lehman's here. IGA with it.
In the document says excise tax PDF. Right, the excise tax PDF. It has the intergovernmental agreement form and the proposed resolution.
Okay, and nothing's changed since?
No, nothing's changed.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, any questions?
Wait a minute, I got lost here. Where are you at?
And those forms are based on the model ACCG and GMA forms.
Great.
Is that excise?
Yeah, that's what I was in.
You
Mm-hmm.
can actually click on that and it'll open that up.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's where I got lost.
Y'all good with that for now? Okay, Lehman, thank you. Item 9.3 we'll discuss as well. That's Lehman Stevens' financial recap for April 2017. Of course, he'll give the full recap Tuesday. Any questions for Lehman today?
I just want to
comment, I'm sure you noticed in the handout that in April, we did start using the new Munis software. It's been a long time coming and a lot of hard work, and there's still things that we're working out, but I think overall it is going to be an improvement when we get it in. The first month, the way we had to put the beginning the activity from July to April in, you can't really see a good April column, but I did in my reports break out the month of April. But in the months ahead, you'll have a current month and a year-to-date in the Munis reports.
No, like I told Lehman before, I appreciate the way you're breaking down SWOS for us, so it's a little more categorized rather than just a checkbook, so thank you again.
Any other questions? Not, we'll go to item 9.4, which is Lehman as well. And that's to discuss the budget amendment we discussed last month. That was for advertising. It's already been advertised last month. Any questions for Lehman on that?
Yes,
Okay.
let me get back. Why, I have issues, I guess, with departments going over budget, that I don't know what the reason is, and one of them is animal, something like it's $15,000. Was it animal shelter? Animal services. Why are we going over budget?
She has collected more grant revenue, made some of that difference, but also it's not a complete wash, because when she does some service that she's using grant funds, then we lose on the regular fee that she normally charges. So the fee revenue for animal services is sort of under budget too. So it is a fact that she has just gone over budget on medical services and animal control.
Well, $90,000 for medical services is entirely extreme, is expensive. You know, if we had lots of money as a county, you know, I know the goal is great, but she needs to know not to go over budget.
And I have discussed with her the relationship of the grant income and her regular income.
Because because they went and got the grant themselves for the,
And the grant applied to that, and I know when she got it, it was explained that it was gonna cover all of her costs. But I think Lehman's explaining it a little different today.
Again, when
Yeah.
she used grant, it caused the regular income to go down. She has, and one of the things,
But it did help offset it.
yes, it did. She's collected about $50,000 in grant income for services. She also has proposed, and I haven't had a chance to address this with the board, but in the coming year, she wants to adopt a new fee for a owner surrender charge, which she estimates will generate about $40,000. Right now, if you personally have a pet and you take it to the shelter, we take that animal without any fee, but most counties charge a fee for someone to just surrender an animal.
But that's not to turn in a stray or anything, that's to turn in personal. Yes.
Won't that cause her a lot of people just to turn them loose though, as strays, instead of bringing them to the shelter? I mean, if you start charging, if they can't afford them, they can't afford
The
the
only
fees.
thing is, she does say that a lot of the personals they tip,
costs money to do
yeah,
that.
but they're chipped. And you'll know whose they are if they're turned in.
The ones that are bringing.
When they adopt an animal, we don't ask for the fees for the medical services when someone adopts.
We normally do, unless it is a case that she has used grant income from. If a grant paid for it, then the person adopting the animal would not pay the normal fee.
So So how do you know which animal, what if I walked in and said, I want an animal that's been bought with, done with grant money?
We'll need to get her to
Clarification.
Yeah, to make sure they're on record that way.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
And on the medical services, what kind of medical service? Is that neutering and spading, or is that's not, if an animal gets wounded, we don't,
again, Mr. Bowers, I don't want to give you a definite answer that I'm not sure of. You know, I know the majority is the spay and neutering, but I would really rather her answer the question about what are medical services. I don't have that knowledge right now.
I would like to know that if you could get it for me.
I would-
Wait a minute, she's over 50. We're adjusting at 50,000, not 15.
Yeah, the amendment was 50,000.
And her grant is for 50. And it was supposed to balance out, but he's saying we're getting some fees reduced by not using some of those services. I don't know how much that is.
Okay.
But she was over 50, she collected a grant for 50, and she thought would be washed even. From an accounting practice, I don't know. I'm just hearing this when he told me that as well today, and I don't think we have an exact number, but she's not over that, because she did take in a $50,000 grant from Pet Supply or Petco or one of them.
She has, through April, spent $116,000 in medical services. So, the 50,000, she's already $26,000 over budget. I mean, we can't go back on that.
Wow.
And we did approve, or the amendment that was advertised was to put $50,000 in that line.
We're supposed to be for grant? We're supposed to be for the grant?
Yes, again, when I originally did the amendment, I proposed 25,000, and she called and asked for more because of the grant.
Well, there's areas that when we go over budget or something for public safety or whatever, if that's different, but, okay.
Any other questions for Lehman? Not, we'll call on Lehman again for item 9.5, budget resolution. It'll be presented Tuesday night. Lehman?
Okay, I believe you have the resolution, and basically, after we left our last meeting, I went through and made the changes that we discussed in the work session.
Is this the updated one in here?
Again, if you want me to recap what I changed from the original detail that you had.
I
would you
do.
like me to do that?
Yeah, because I think we had talked about too, anyway, let's let him go and then we can.
All right, when we met on May 8th, the detailed budget that you were provided by the chairman, it had revenues of $49,024,700. I think we have agreed to increase fees to the cities for tax collection. That's going to generate about $57,000. And then the local energy excise tax, we've estimated a revenue of $200,000. So that gives us $49,281,700 in estimated revenue for the year ending 2018. On May the 8th, we started out with proposed expenditures of $49,024,700, and the changes that we've made to that, Superior Court to law clerks, $14,400. Commissioner's office increase in training and travel expense, $22,500. Fire department increase for cancer insurance, $20,000. Increase for testing expense for equipment, $4,000. We, on the last work section, are planning to do the spousal exclusion on insurance, and we've estimated a reduction in insurance expense of $500,000. We have put in to freeze the assistant chief appraiser position in the tax assessor's office, and that is a savings of $45,000. We are going to fund the DA's request for additional staff and raises for his employees of $183,952, an increase in public defender's personnel cost of $39,459,000. And then the original budget had a 2% raise for employees, and then with the savings on insurance, we put that back to the employees, and I had estimated $484,000, and when I went through, it really came out to about $439,000. So the expenditures would be, leave $78,500, which I put in a contingency fund.
How much?
$78,500.
Additional 50 than what was over the other day.
Now, okay, go ahead.
And that 2%, and the original 2%, and then the second 2%,
So it is a
4% then, we are not including any raises for elected officials, correct?
Well, now, I actually included the district commissioners. That's how the,
Okay, I don't
your
think,
charter works. It says when a cross-board raise is given, the district commissioners also receive the same percent. Now, your constitutional officers
Okay,
and the chairman, they're set by the state, which normally comes out and starts in January.
so they,
So that
and the
was
raise
not
too?
included in my
So,
calculation.
okay,
They've
so,
already gotten one.
okay, from the state, or from the state's ruling, they got one.
Right,
Right.
Okay, but they're not getting another one.
not until whatever the state sets as the cost of living increase,
Right.
Okay,
which will not take effect in July. The state, the constitutional officer's salary always changes in January instead of
Okay.
July.
Okay. Now, have we made any kind of, it always goes up, so, I mean, is that not in the budget process? It's not in those dollars, is it?
It is not, and I believe it may be 2% again, so, you're talking,
okay, so basically, elected officials that are state, their raise is dictated by the state. So if the state says so, we put it into our budget. But as far as anyone else elected, which would be, I guess, the 7 of us, or the 6 of us, 6 district or 7? Six.
Marty's is 6.
His is set, okay, so the 6 of us, I don't think we thought we were getting a 4% raise. Am I incorrect in that? Okay.
I don't want you to give me a
We
4%
don't.
raise.
I know it probably doesn't amount to much, but
No raise for commissioners, is what we said.
yes.
Now, we also looked at people's whose salaries have been adjusted since the last across-the-board raise. So if you've gotten a pay increase or whatever, other than, a change like a fireman, when you've gone to training, you've gotten the bump because you went to a different position, then those people, are not eligible for the 4% increase. Isn't that what we decided? Cause we printed out.
That's fair. They've already got a raise. We're not gonna give them another one.
Huh?
I said, what you're asking, if they've already received a raise, we're not gonna add that extra 2% in, is that,
Extra 4%.
4%.
4%? Okay.
So,
My calculation did not exclude that.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll just tell,
yeah,
A little bit more
we've
in our
talked about it.
contingency.
We've talked about it, we just didn't go through it the other night when we got all down to it. So, anyway, there's some people that need to be excluded from the raise. It needs to get to the people that it needs to get to. So, is that correct? Yeah, that's what we printed off those sheets of who had their salaries adjusted or whatever. So,
They're exempt, is what you're,
right, they're not eligible for a salary increase if their salary has been increased.
that's fair.
And do you need anything, Ann, on that? Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back to that state thing one more time. So So this is an unfunded mandate by the state. That
Right.
anytime they give elected officials a raise, we're required to pay it. I'm just clarifying because I'm starting to
Right.
realize we have a lot of unfunded mandates.
Right,
That we elected people to go up and take care of us.
right,
I'm just,
right.
okay, thank you, Lehman.
So now, are all constitutional officers included in the state thing? Okay,
Basically, what you have, your constitutional officers, the probate judge, the clerk of court, tax commissioner, sheriff. The state provides you with a population chart, and they have a base amount for whatever your county's population is. That is the base. And then each year, they determine whether you get a cost of living adjustment. And then also, you have, every time they're reelected, there's a longevity 5%. So for every 4 years of term, you increase the state amount by 5% for longevity.
okay.
Thank you, Lehman. Item 9.6 will be the Carroll County Transit Contract. We'll call on County Attorney Stacy Blackman.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, we have a resolution and an agreement with Three Rivers Regional Commission to implement the new public transit system that should go into effect in 2018. So we have their contract. They will be your agent. The county will own the vehicles and pay the insurance, and then Three Rivers will handle the operation and hire the third-party operator. So the amount, as if it were a full year of service, is in the agreement. That would be operating costs of $35,000 per year, a capital vehicle match of $30,000 for a total of $65,000. That will be prorated in the budget because I don't think they expect the vehicles to get here till next March. So I think a lower amount was in the budget.
Yes, it was funded for really a half year,
Okay.
17,500, but it actually only may be 3 months.
Right. Do you have any questions?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Items 9.7 and 9.8, we'll call on the warden, Robert Jones. Health Service Agreement and Capacity Agreement.
I believe, good evening. Both of those agreements, I think one actually went up 2% would be the health agreement that we have. Unfortunately, I think that's the way health is going. We're seeing an increase everywhere we go. I think that went up, I think it's going to be about $5,000 a year is what our service agreement with our contractor is. Additionally, the service agreement with the state is the typical agreement that we have every year for 246 inmates to be housed here in Carroll County to do work as directed by me, actually. So that basically that's all that is our regular agreement with the state.
Any questions for the warden? Seeing none, thank you, warden. Item 9.9, ad valorem tax collection. We'll call on Miss Vicky is here, Miss Vicky Bearden.
I'm not gonna be here Tuesday night, so I don't know if you wanna do this, but anyway. I work with him, so I don't wanna hurt him. It's just the intergovernmental agreement between each one of the cities and the county that we are charging $9 per parcel this year, beginning this year. It's a 4-year agreement. We go through 4 years, we go through a whole term so that we don't have to do it every year. And it's just that the cities are charged $9 per parcel for each parcel that is in their city. So,
This is only the Bowden one. Is there not one for for every city?
There's
Or-
one for each city,
Everyone.
but
want to put that, it's an individual one for each city, we just put that as an example.
Oh, okay, all right, thank you. Okay, thank you. I was thinking it was all of them, but there was only one.
Yeah, we
Okay,
just didn't want to put,
got it,
And we have met with every one of them.
got it.
Okay. Any questions for Ms. Vicky? Seeing none. Thank you.
thank you.
Next item, 910, police SUV purchase. We'll call on Commissioner Lee Powers, District 5.
The chief of Whitesburg, brought a need, and I'm just wanting to help them out and replace one of their, police cars.
Okay. Any questions?
It's gonna come out of Vicky's fund.
Okay.
No. No, we don't normally do that,
Do what?
replace the city's police cars.
No, we've helped Bowden, and we've helped several of them on vehicles. George helped, I think it was 3.
But he used and assigned,
Yeah, and this will be.
I
Yeah.
thought Kevin had taken all.
No, Kevin had used,
He has some,
Kevin has to cover this. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, but that's only for the price of the vehicle then?
It's gonna include, sending it over to the radio shop too, to have the
What
lights and stuff.
exactly is the cost? Do you have that?
It is it's
26 something, I think.
26,
It should be on its,
Less cash?
is.
What's the less cash?
The,
We already paid for part of it?
It's where the state gives you that rebate.
no, they just, this actually, that's one of their contract, it says fleet commission, or concessions, they reduced it by 4,000. The total price is 26,822. Pioneer Ford was the low bidder. They're actually the only company that responded to the bid. They did that. And then we've talked to Ken Reeves. We have an estimate from the radio shop to get it dressed out with a thing would be just at about $8,000 would be in addition to that price to have it dressed out in there, so. And that would all come from the District 5. There is funds in that available for the District 5 money.
Okay. Because if we're buying, every city's gonna be coming and wanting us to buy vehicles, and we can't do that.
I understand, it was just something that, we talked about, and I was trying to just reach out to Whitesburg and help them out a little bit.
Now, this is Pioneer,
It's Pioneer and,
Yeah, okay.
Bremen.
yeah.
And
They're
we, and.
They're
we-
in the city, they're in Carroll County.
Well, we could have went with the state bid, but I asked Gerald, would we please put it out for local bid, so, because I wanted a local person.
They're within
Did-
$300 of the state contract, and it's a very responsive bid, so.
Oh, yeah, well, they're in Carroll County, and they've gotten kicked out a bunch, so.
Any questions for Commissioner Powers? Not, we'll go on item 911. Insurance renewal, J. Smith Lanier and Company, consideration proposed for 2018 liability and risk management. We'll call on Mr. Tom Glanton, representing J. Smith Lanier today, in place of Mr. Stewart.
Mr. Commissioner, esteemed board members, thank you for a minute of your time. Like the Commissioner said, I'm Tom Glanton, filling in for Bobby Stewart, your longtime commercial insurance agent. Proud to be here today. Just want to give you an overview of what we have as far as the insurance renewal. Pure premium, you've got a 4% annual increase. Your premium's going from $742,000 to $774,000. Several things are driving that, though. Over the course of the year, we've added $6 million in property. We've added $470,000 in equipment. And we've also added 12 additional autos. So when you look at it apples to apples, we're actually slightly lower rate-wise than we were last year.
Now, let's go through that one more time, of what
Okay.
you just said.
Yes, ma'am.
6 million,
We've added $6 million in real property, meaning buildings. We've added $470,000 in equipment,
how much
$470,000 in change.
in equipment?
Yes, ma'am.
Can we have a breakout of what this is for? You ma-
As far as what the individual
Yeah,
items
the
are?
real property, like if it's increased $6 million from last year, then, can we know specifically?
Yes, ma'am, we certainly can. I don't know that I can give you that.
Things like the Clown Community Center, the
Right.
state
The
patrol
buildings,
office,
the new
addition to
911 center.
911.
I just want to know what it
Yeah.
is, all written out on a piece of paper.
Can I get that back to you?
Yeah, if
Yeah,
you'll
yeah,
print
yeah,
that, we'll get
Yeah.
it to her. You just
So-
get it to us.
The things that you just read out as far as the 6 million, the 470.
Yes, ma'am.
How many cars?
12.
We've added 12 cars that were not sheriff cars. Those were,
9, we know will fall under that one,
well,
yeah.
That was 6. I thought we doing
Yeah.
6 a year? I'm sorry, I could be wrong.
you know how many of those are sheriff
I
cars
do not.
versus not? Okay.
Lehman's got a staff member that's gonna match every vehicle that they got on the policy. She is just out and could not provide it today, but she'll be back before Tuesday and have every one of you a copy.
Okay. Yes, sir. Thank you.
I'll get that to you. Any other questions?
Other than the new state patrol building, what have we purchased in the past year?
The 911, the
911
county
center, the
health,
addition, new building and the addition, the
Clem
Clem.
Center.
Department expansion. Health
Oh,
department.
that's what,
Yeah,
yes,
the
the health
health department.
department. Yeah, that's,
They wasn't insured last year.
no, more
Yes, this is the
space.
additional
Oh,
value
okay,
and
okay.
expansions, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were not on the policies last year.
Okay,
You pick them up mid-year, this is renewal. Anything else?
That's it for me.
Okay, any questions?
Well, I think 4% is really good, so thank you for working on
For
this
all
on
those
that.
addition, and I know we had a few, covered issues last year, and I think y'all did extremely well. I appreciate that partnership.
Yes, sir.
Thank
We're
you.
proud to be a small part of your team, for sure.
Yeah. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, Tom.
Thank you.
Next, we're going to the business session, item 10. We've got an appointment to Community Development Appeals Board. That'll be Commissioner Lee Powers' appointment, and he'll be prepared Tuesday.
I will.
Okay. Next appointment would be appointment 10-2, will be the Family and Children's Services, and feel free to bring anybody that Mr. Dorch is willing to serve. Item 10.3 is the appointment to Region 6 for the Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities Board. Ms. Betty Casey is willing and able to serve as well, unless we bring somebody Tuesday. Item 10.4, appointments to West Georgia EMS Council. Mr. Tim Padgett and Dr. Mitchell are willing to serve and able, unless we won't discuss before Tuesday or Tuesday night. Next is item 10.5, Harrelson County Solid Waste Agreement. We'll call on Mr. Charles Pope and Ms. Stacy Blackman.
Thank you, Chairman, Board of Commissioners. What you have there is a intergovernmental agreement between the Carroll County Board of Commissioners and the Harrelson County Solid Waste Management Authority. This is the next step in where last month you guys approved for us to buy the 2 dump trailers. And we have 2 proposals here. One of them is for the county to expand their landfill to hold all of our debris, and in-kind service would be $60,000, but we will be able to do that cheaper than that. And then we would pay the $24 a ton tipping fee based on the 6,000 tons, be $144,000. Proposal number 2 would be for the county not to do in-kind service, and then we'll pay the $34 a ton tipping fee, then it'd be the $204,000. But I would recommend for us to do proposal number 1. I think we could save more money by doing that.
With the in-kind?
Yes, ma'am.
So it's getting more expensive every day to deal with garbage?
It is, yes.
Okay.
At another rate increase, I guess we can point out now.
In the
this is
fees.
Time, the fee for dumping
Inert
debris
material.
has been $21, and we're proposing that be raised to $39, since we're now having to pay $34 to dispose of it.
So the
So
fee,
the $39 equals the fee that's already charged for your normal trash. It's just there won't be a special fee for the tree limbs and that type.
So it seems quite appropriate that we may be charging fees at the convenience centers then. Okay, looking at that.
And a lot of it's more the materials we're bringing in, not just our trash. The problem is we're grinding it, and the companies that used to grind it for us would take it and haul it off to people that buy it. Now, they won't come grind it because nobody's purchasing it. We're working with a couple of companies. We met with the EPD. They came, one actually lives in Carroll County. We met with Charles, and we went down there and met with him, and he's given us, this is kind of what led us to the option of working with Harrison County, doing what we're doing for a year. That'll get us our numbers back down. We have to have 75% of our material removed from the land transfer station. So that'll give us this year to do that, and then hopefully over the next year, we can even find some more feasible plans to save the county money.
More options.
Yeah, more options, so.
Charles, are y'all gonna grind that before y'all haul it?
No, we're gonna haul it like it is.
So you have.
But we did get a proposal to grind it, and that was 2 months ago, so it would even be more now.
Yeah,
It was
another
100
additional
Yeah.
$125,000 to grind it. This time, we're gonna take at least 75% of what we got and haul it off the way it is and contract with them. Then that gives us next year to determine if there's better options. Any questions for Charles? Charles, thank you as always.
Thank you.
Next, we'll call on, for items 10, 11, and 12, we'll call on, 10, 11, Stacy Blackman, to discuss the public hearing and resolution for Flat Rock Road.
On Flat Rock Road, we had the first public hearing a couple of months ago, and this was a road realignment that happened in the 90s, so it's just cleaning it up and abandoning the part of the road that, the remnant that's along the road after the realignment. It's 0.61 acres. So we'll have the second hearing next Tuesday.
And just for clarification, when we get to item 10, 11, Tuesday night, and discuss it, we'll call on you. We will open up for public hearing.
Correct.
See if there's any comments. If
Right.
not, close the public hearing. That will consider our second one. We'll let you finish,
Right, with this
Okay.
resolution.
and then we vote.
That's right.
Okay?
Thank you.
No surprises. Thank you. Item 10, 12, we'll call on Mr. Brian Kent, that is, I think, officially back in capacity after a deployment for about a year. We thank you for your service. I'm glad to have you back.
Stay home.
Thank you, Chairman, Commissioners. You've done this before, I think, while I was going with Turkey Creek Point. This is Harlan Trace subdivision. It has been permitted back in 2007, sat idle for quite some time, and a new person has come in and is ready to get it going. So the final plat is sitting with me. It's been reviewed by all county entities, including Water Authority, Fire Department, Public Works, and it's finally sitting with me to come before you for the application for a special tax district for the street lights that the county requires for anything, any subdivision that has 25 lots or more. The county requires street lights, and since we require the street lights, there is a further requirement for the developer to create the special tax district. And that is the application before you today. All fees have been received and paid and ready to create the special tax district for these street lights.
Any questions for Brian? Thank you.
Yes, this is the firm that has done the audit for the past 2 years. This will be the third year, which is typical to have a 3-year engagement.
All righty, any questions for Lehman? If not, that's all the agenda items. Any consideration from the board? Seeing none,